Number 1, unresolved issues. So here your higher self is either bringing to your attention past challenges that you've overcome so that you can then tap into that frequency of courage and strength to persevere, and perhaps look at your past successes and evidence to show that, you know what, you've done it before and you will get through this as well. Or if it's an unpleasant memory, trauma, parental wounds, habits, experiences that are coming up, then here you're being asked to rise above it and to realize that all this stuff is what kept you stuck, thinking, feeling, and being in that same old reality. And now it's time for you to fully embody this new version of yourself and trust and know that this is just a phase and you will get through this. And all this stuff coming up, it's not a bad thing. It just implies conscious awareness. And if it's something that's undealt with, something that you've pushed or buried away deep inside of you, and it's now coming up to the surface, it's because you're now wiser. You're now strong enough to deal with it, to push through that pain, to let it be, to forgive and let go, to actually heal that part of yourself, that wound, whatever's, buried deep down. And you can do this through journaling as well, writing it down, because it's now in your mind, but writing it down on a piece of paper can be a very like a cathartic feeling where you're able to release and let it go and work through those emotions that come up or those triggers. Perhaps you need to forgive yourself or somebody else and accept whatever's happened with this new understanding that your higher self came to have this human experience so that consciousness can experience itself in order for you to grow and evolve as a conscious being, including the lesson that was attached to it that you're now ready to learn from and grow from. So learn from those challenges and those unresolved issues. And all this is happening is because you are accelerating. Your soul is evolving, growing and expanding. And even though it feels like a lot of things are being thrown at you, but you know that deep down underneath all that crap, there's a reason for it. There's either energy that needs to be released or a lesson that needs to be learned, because you are now ready to take that next step to level up. And deep down, you know there's a lesson, and even if in that time it doesn't make sense and you can't see it, but once you're able to get some distance, some perspective, some clarity from it, you will see the lesson that was learnt. For example, I'm now a higher self quantum healer, and if you'd met me like 3 years ago, I was literally in the cave of my own darkness, going through my own crisis, dealing with my childhood emotional trauma. And I would not have guessed that I am now that I could actually offer healing to other people. But that's part of like the soul's journey that you've got to go through, part of the human experience that my soul came here to have. And it is a bit of a hard pill to swallow that all the stuff that you went through was for a reason. But once you're on your spiritual awakening journey, then everything starts to make sense. It's like rising from the dead, like the phoenix, rising again, but this time with a new life, with new energy, with higher frequency energy. And it's important to understand that you're never really complete, or your soul's journey is never really finished. There will always be obstacles, always be things coming along the way, things being thrown at you. And that's the good thing about being humble and not thinking that you're here right there, somebody right at the top like a guru or something like that. It's about being humble along your journey, because we're all students and it's part of the process and it's part of the journey that you came here to have. Or it's like the example that I gave in my last video, where two people can grow up in the same environment and have the same trauma experience. Now, one person can walk away thinking and feeling and using that trauma to fuel them to success and abundance, to joy and clarity. And the other person can use that, reinforcing and complaining about what happened, reinforcing that self-limiting beliefs and that identity, and being in that victim mentality. So here, I'm asking you to look at these challenges and look for that deeper meaning between these challenges, and trust and know that you are being guided, and everything is to do with divine timing. And then elevate your consciousness, and you will notice that you will then thrive back towards the trajectory of your highest timeline. Number 2, clearing of old things. Your higher self is sending you a sign that the breakdown of old things need to take place before that breakthrough. Because in order for new things or new energy to enter your now reality, old stagnant energy needs to be cleared out. It's like the saying, out with the old and in with the new. It's like a dead energy, dead weight that's sitting around in your environment, or perhaps there's people or pets or whatever it is that you're holding onto out of survival, out of fear, out of guilt, out of shame because of that emotional attachment. It's like the example of polar opposites. It's one or the other, or night and day, or up and down. You can't have it both ways. You can't hold on to the old or the past, still hoping and waiting for new energy, new high frequency thinking to enter your now current reality, or waiting for that manifestation to come to you if you're still holding on to the old. Now, this is to be done generously and in an appreciative manner. Don't be in a rush to just let it go. It's a process. Consciously be grateful for the purpose that it served in your life, and then consciously let it go to wherever it needs to go, whether that's to a bin or to charity. Or perhaps it's a thought that needs to be dissolved. Or maybe it's some pictures or letters that need to be either burnt or shredded and then gone back to the earth. So that's the nature of giving something away generously. And by doing this, you're also letting go of that emotional, that narrative attachment to it, those low vibrational emotions, and be willing to share what you are letting go of, no matter how big or small. Your higher self is guiding you to relinquish the old, to release that stagnant energy, and to no longer live in that scarcity mindset either. Because if you're a hoarder and you're holding on to something, thinking that I'll never get it back, but instead trust and know and believe that you are an abundant creator. And it's important to note that as much as it's intended to benefit the giver, its main intention of generosity and giving something away is to benefit the receiver, because there's no expectation, no burden on them to give something back in return. And that's the element of giving something away generously from your heart purely. And as we're moving through such an evolutionary period as well, your higher self is guiding you, as well as these planets, whether they're moving direct or retrograde, are urging you to make evolutionary choices and decisions. And this is what will propel you to move forward to your highest timeline. Number 3, shaking off patterns. Now, before I go into how you can actually do this, let me just say that as we find ourselves moving through an evolutionary period, a lot of you will be feeling this in here internally. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of our external actions are created in here first, vibrationally, before we bring them to the outside via our thoughts, emotions, and then our actions. So you might find yourself going through a period of shaking off patterns or repatterning. It's kind of like rewiring or reprogramming our subconscious mind. But here, these stored energies or these trapped emotions are trapped inside of our body. And these bodily blocks exist and serve their own purpose, which I'll go through in a minute. But the reason why your higher self is bringing your awareness to this is because right now you are trying to bring something new into your now experience. It's like a birthing process. You're trying to birth something new into your now reality. It all comes down to energy. It's linked to the Taurus field. And if you remember, I talk more about that in this video here. But the Taurus field is not just an invisible energetic field around our body. Instead, it goes through us because we are it. And it connects to everything around us, even the quantum field. And the center of the Taurus field is your heart. And as you work on clearing, or rather shaking up those blocked energies inside your body, and you clean up the energy in your field, you open up your channel to receive, and you're able to then get back into alignment. You're able to connect to source energy. And from there, you're able to grow and expand, draw a manifestation and experience to you into your now reality by transmuting that stagnant energy out of your body. Now, when I say that these stuck energies serve their own purpose, because it's like being in a gestational period, it's like being held in a place before you're ready to move ahead or to level up. And I'm going to give you my own example. And a couple of days ago, I sat there at my desk trying to write my next piece of content for this channel, but nothing was coming through. Throughout the day, ideas were flowing through, but when I sat there to write something down, my mind would just go blank. And throughout the day, I just kept feeling these weird sensations in my upper back, up my neck, and in particular down my arms as well. And every time I then decided to meditate and go within, I was just being told to just be, to open the window, face my chair that way, and allow the wind and the breeze to just flow through me. And that happened all day, literally, and I kept feeling these weird sensations in my body. And it wasn't until later on that I then decided to sit and shake off these patterns And I stood up in my study and I was literally, my body was shaking and I was releasing these stagnant vibrations, these trapped emotions outside of my body, and it literally was life-changing. This type of physical movement emphasizes body awareness and will allow you to observe how it then manifests into your body, allowing you to tap into those sensations that are coming up associated with trapped emotions, trauma, whatever that may be. It will allow you to become consciously aware of whatever is going on in your body, and in particular if it's happening involuntarily, because you will then allow yourself to tap into that awareness and allow your body to move freely. And then after I'd done that, later on that evening, as I accepted it, and I was like, okay, well, this is a phase that I'm in. This is what I just got to flow through, and I just got to go with the flow of it. And it wasn't until later that evening, till about 9:45 in the night, 9:45 at night, that the idea just came through me. And I quickly ran to my study, put pen to paper, and I just wrote everything down, and it literally just came through me. Now, animals, whenever they face any form of trauma or any form of anxiety, they shake. Whereas we humans, we actually keep that stored inside of our bodies. And animals, they shake to calm the nervous system down and to quieten their fight or flight response. So when you do this, whether you're sitting down, lying down, or standing up, you might stretch to begin with, or you might allow your body to move freely involuntarily. Either way, it's a good thing. Encourage these vibrations to move through your body without trying to control them. And you can do this from 5 to 10 minutes, whatever feels comfortable for you. And allow yourself to be in that moment, to be present in that moment, becoming aware of any of the sensations in the body. It's a way for you to detach yourself and clean up your energy inside your body and allow space for new energy to emerge and new perspectives to emerge. So I hope you found value in today's video. Please like and subscribe and share it with others who need to hear this message. And as always, I'd love to hear from you as well. So let me know in the comments down below how you are getting on. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Much love. Namaste.